There's a light that lives within us and all around us. And I just want all of us just for a moment to realize how sacred we are, how sacred everything is, how sacred everyone is, as we bow in namaste to that great light. There is a light that lives inside of me. There is a light that lives inside of you. So I lean as close as I can to my soul. We lean as close to our soul as we can. Love and light lives inside of me. Love and light lives inside of you. Love and light lives inside of me. Love and light lives inside of you. There is a light that lives inside of me. I lean as close to my soul as I can. There is a light that lives inside of you. I lean as close to your soul as I can. 'Cause love and light lives inside of me. Love and light lives inside of you. Love and light lives inside of me. Love and light lives inside of you. With your chin lowered and head bowed, there's just the light. As you look up and in gently at the point between the eyebrows, surveying perhaps just the darkness, but know for certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, beyond the light, there is a loving presence so great that never again would you ever consider any other notion but to merge with that light forever and forever. May that moment be now, because now is the time. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. A light-filled welcome to all of us this morning and to our world. Why? Because it is filled with light. Oh, there's lots of things you can concentrate on and focus on today that is not of the light. But that isn't going to make you feel any better. In fact, it'll probably make you feel worse because your mind isn't with the divine. But the fact that there is all light underneath the chaos makes this a glorious moment and a glorious morning, right? We live for the light. We're submerged in the light. We're living in the light. And let's visualize all our brothers and sisters the same way. You know, this is a little quote from Hafiz. He says, I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. Boy, to the masters, to God, to the holy ones, Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, your soul, want more than anything else to help you realize this. I wish, they're saying, we could show you when you are lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your own being. And I think some of you heard me say that I read that near-death experience once of a good person who was mightily surprised that he went first into the lowest realms. And he was thinking all the time, wait a minute, he got the wrong guy. I've been a good person. And while he was down there, he was in the hellish place where no one was thinking of God. Everything was about the ego and about what their selfish needs were, and they are all similar in that regard. And then he noticed, then God showed him something. The reason why he wanted this person to experience that lower realm. He saw that everyone had this astonishing light right at their spiritual eye. Everyone in that dark place, that light was shining so bright, so beautiful, but no one noticed it. No one noticed it. Then he was instantly pulled up into the higher realms. May you notice it today, my friends. Whatever you see, whatever you look at, may you notice that the light is shining bright there, even though it may be a dark day. You might have some dark feelings. You might have some friends that are in a dark place, in the world, in a crazy dark place. But don't let yourself go there, okay? This is what we're doing here in this Satya Yuga, golden age state within us. This is why yoga has come to your doorstep. And the one divine friend is knocking at that door of your heart. Beautiful image of Christ knocking at that door that had no doorknob on the outside because he can't get in unless we let him in. So I entitled the name of this broadcast, this Gita stream this morning, Heaven is Within You. And some of you may have been raised in the Catholic or Christian world, and you may have heard of this quote before. This is from Luke. Jesus says, "The kingdom of God does not come with observation, nor will they say, 'See here' or 'See there.' For indeed, the kingdom of God is within you." So we did finish these verses 17 to 19 last week. And before I move on to 20, and then there's 21 and 22 combined, short ones. But before we move on, I just want to, keep going with the golden age consciousness that we want to have in each chakra. As Yogananda said, carry a portable to paradise within you. Be looking for the light within you. In this case, the chakras. Catholicism was great for me as a kid, just great. It gave me the love of Christ. It gave me all this knowledge of the Bible. And much of it I loved. And just like in Yogananda's teaching, all of it I love. And in fact, if it wasn't for the organizations around the purity of the channel, so that's the way that we're learning how to view life now, from the purity of the realizations of the quintessential essence of everything, which is spirit bliss, right? And so all religions just come down to one purpose, one goal, and that is the experience of that oneness with the spirit. And so, but at the end of these verses 17 to 19, remember that quote that was from Jeremiah? And I said, this is a warning. This is a warning. After we talked about how one by one, we're all going to slip away eventually beyond all manifested states. So we're finally resting in the bliss of spirit unmanifest. Finally, we're at home in our true abode that is not a physical creation, that has no vibration in it. It's just ongoing spirit oneness, communion, bliss, samadhi, right? But for some reason, Yogananda put this quote from Jeremiah here at the bottom of 738, page 738, chapter 8, which is the last thing of those verses 17 to 19 about the yugas and the cycles. And it goes like this: "Give glory to the Lord your God, And I'd like to add, while the sun is shining, make hay. While you're while you're maybe listening to this or whatever you're up to today, you won't know what this is all about if you continue to just, I mean, fine, just do what you need to do today. But if you're gonna hear this stream, this broadcast this morning, it may be a really good thing so that you remember there is just light underneath us all in our darkest moments, in the world's darkest moments that we could conceive of. Okay. So give glory to the Lord your God while you sit here right now. Give glory to the Lord your God while you have some desire at all to know the truth. That when you sit to meditate, don't take anything for granted. Take it lightly, filled with that light, but don't take it for granted. So give your love to God right now. Before he caused darkness, and before your feet stumble today, and before you forget again today, upon the dark mountains, and while ye look for light, ye turn it into the shadow. And while ye look for light, he, that side of us, which is the ego consciousness, not the divine indweller, but the ego consciousness, turn it into the shadow of death and make it gross darkness. So in that heed, or that little warning, before we look at this paradise within us and go through some more of these, divine consciousness palaces, stops, or rest stops and love stops divine within us, as spirit in disguise in each one of our chakras, right? Before we do that, I just want to read a few little the way that Yogananda can be when he's saying, my dears, we don't have time here to mess around. We have only one purpose here, and that is to know our true self as one with that infinite bliss and merge the two together, soul and spirit reunion, right? That was our first practice. Samadhi bliss, oneness everlasting. So this is what he said. This is lesson 18 of his. Avoid giving too much importance to the lesser things of life in preference to God. Realize that you are here for just a little while. Why don't you know a little while? You don't know when you will be taken away from this earth. No matter where you turn a compass, the needle always turns toward the North Pole. Likewise, wise devotees always keep the compass needle of their attention pointed to God. This is the best way to navigate through the world, where you know not when the storms of buffeting trials will come to blow you off course, and you know that we still have those buttons that are very, very, very easy to push, and it puts us completely off course. Worldly people are like ships sailing over the sea of life without a compass. In the storms of mortal existence, they become lost. Be a true devotee, keeping your mind fixed on the divine. There it is, our saying, keep your mind fixed on the divine presence, knowing that God will thereby guide you safely to the shores of eternity. Keep your minds fixed on the divine. I think it was Rumi who said that you don't have to go out searching for divine love. Just remove the things that keep you from love, right? And so that's kind of what we're up to. We're trying to replace a negative, deep groove of forgetfulness of God and replace it with one of constant remembrance. And this is why we have these chakras that are the powerhouses or the God indweller within us. This is why Christ, in that so-called religion that focuses a lot on, outer things and doesn't focus on it's fine. It's fine. But this is why after I went to college and found Yogananda, and finally here comes the Eastern way of looking at truth. And it says, well, here's how you go about it. Look within. Look within. Here's the science of yoga. And look at us. We have the best of the East and West. This is how Christ's consciousness within us can awaken. rather than just be words or sermons about it. Cast off delusion of mortal consciousness, Yogananda says. Material entanglements, sweet and mysterious, keep us dreaming so that we forget to wake up before the dream of life vanishes into the infinite. When you have ample time, steadiness, good health, and determination, then wavering suspicions and doubts are walls in the way. Gosh, now we would have a really good excuse not to think of God if we were already too far gone. You know what I mean? we may be. Maybe that's why we don't think of him as much as we know we ought to, right? But if we are somewhat have a marble or two left in this brain of ours, you know, some wisdom thoughts from time to time, those wavering suspicions and doubts are like walls in the way. When we have steadiness, good health, and determination, then wavering suspicions and doubts are walls in the way. They have to be dynamited by faith, full attention in your heart of single-hearted devotion to the one. We're going to look at all of these as we go down and create our paradise within each one of these steps and chakras of ours. They have to be dynamited now. Any suspicion, any doubts, any wavering, any backsliding, any rationalization, on and on, that doesn't put you right in the purpose of your life, in the center of your heart, faith, full attention in the heart, where you are making your first love first in every situation, good, bad, or ugly, or somewhere in between. We have to dynamite now the walls of suspicions and doubts. Reestablish your dreaming mortal consciousness in immortal wakefulness in God. Do it before the lotus leaf of your life withers and lets the dewdrop of consciousness slip unaware into the ocean of infinity. We want to be super aware of our connection with the divine by practicing constant remembrance of that beloved, by keeping that sacred fire lit all the time in our root chakra. That's the power of resisting all the things that take us outward so that we can focus and on that fire and take anything that's going to pull us out and burn it up, especially our human story, because that is the hardest thing. You say, okay, I'm not going to be focused on my story today, but all it is today usually is your story leading the way as the ego manas consciousness, right? To do me, mine, and my family and the world. Did you hear about blah blah blah, right? We are children of immortality, Yogananda goes on to say. We should not allow the delusion of mortal existence or what's happening in the news today to rob us of our inheritance. Nothing can rob you of your inheritance in the first place. I'm adding these things, a little asides, because I'm all revved up. You think you are just a mortal, your life destined to be shattered by the hammer of death. Pluck that weed thought of death from your mind. Pluck all the weeds from your garden of peace in your heart. I'm adding that, but we're going to be talking about that. Pluck that weed thought of death from your mind and realize your immortality, my dears. The easiest and the best way of experiencing resurrection. Happy Hanukkah and happy, or no, that's that around Christmas. So happy Easter coming up, resurrection. And however all the other traditions worship it, we found out that Costa Rica today, really, they take the whole month of Holy Week off. The whole state, they take it off. In India, they do the same thing. But we don't have time to in the West because there's other important things we think, right? The easiest and the best way of experiencing resurrection is by doing good, thinking good, remembering truth, loving, no matter what you feel, no matter how much you are doubting, right? Through thick and thin, loving, and meditating regularly every day. All right? So when we're going to now continue with our Satya Yuga consciousness. Brief summary, that reunion with spirit. Last week we talked about how did you all practice some cool and warm concentration with those God ecstasy breaths or Kriya breaths? And I'm holding out, not me, the God in me and the God in everything is holding out that we all take that course and get Kriya from Yogananda if possible, my dears. And it's more than possible. It's more possible than anything else that you think is possible. How's that? Because it's your destiny to go within and experience that heaven is within, paradise is within, not without. Okay? So Yogananda says, so just to recap, spirit oneness reunion, bliss union. Then we drop down to the, seventh chakra. We have seven, the magnificent seven. We have this seven-storied mountain within us. We have heaven within us as the seven qualities of the infinite consciousness within us, right? So we drop into this state here, and my Father and us are one, and that Father is pure joy. That Father is all abundance. He's a father, for heaven's sake. And fathers will do anything for their children. They will provide anything and everything to see their children happy. So don't for a moment hesitate to ask for everything. Ask the Father for love. Ask the friend for love. Ask him again and again, and let the abundance just flow into you and the ever new joy flow into you. And all of this is your causal body. And it's here in your Brahmanadi or your causal spine. All right. These are because the God the Father is not tied to coordinating this earth as much as he is one with that infinite bliss. So he's both. He's the unmanifest and the manifest. That's why he's the perfect one to know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So we did some breaths around him. Then we came down to this Christ Consciousness Center, didn't we, at the end of stream last week? And we melted in the light. We did our song, we are submerged in the eternal light. We are submerged and it permeates every particle of our being, it permeates everything. We are the light, the beautiful light. We're living in the light. We're living in the light. And how perfect is the light? There can be no disease. Everything is perfect in the light. That's why the light is perfect. That's why everything is perfect. Because the light is the tissue of creation of manifested things. It's the essence of manifested things. Comes from the Heavenly Father. It's the Christ consciousness. This is why Jesus is that Christ consciousness. The Son of God is you and me. We are that potential sons and daughters of God right here at the spiritual eye, at the light center, okay? And part of that sixth chakra is the medulla oblongata, which we're going to start with today. All right. But first, I want to read you from this conscious evolution. No, from Divine Potentials of Mind and Willpower, lesson 20, where Yogananda says, never forget that the mind you use in your daily activities is only a dim echo of the power and glory of your original endowment. Man, talk about your original endowment and your divine inheritance. Come on, done deal, man. 100% you. Spirit is 100% you. And it doesn't vacillate. You have a bad day. You think you had a bad day, and maybe everything could just all the buttons get pushed. And your energy just drops. And when you have no energy, you just resort back to the old ways, right? Or some little scenario of that. But you are endowed with God's presence before you were even made a soul. We are one with that infinite bliss. Okay. Nothing can take that endowment away from you and your inheritance as a child of the infinite. You are truly the sons and daughters of God, the Christ consciousness. But we have to wake up to that, right? Never forget that the mind you use in your daily activities is only a dim echo of the power and glory of your original endowment. Residing in each of the cerebral spinal centers are dormant powers of mind and will. So The seventh chakra, because we went right to the seventh chakra. We're looking at the 7-story mansion now of God consciousness within us. This is an outline in Yogananda's lessons. Is the omniscient divine wisdom and bliss. Omniscient divine wisdom and bliss. Causal. That's very causal, right? 1,000-petal lotus in the cerebrum, right here. Right? You are the bliss consciousness. Your soul is awakened. You are ready to just launch into complete freedom and no more returns, no more recycling or cycling back here, no more births for me, no more births for you, your child of the infinite, no more births for us, right? So that's that chakra. Then Yogananda goes on to say, now we're just visiting the 6th one. We did the light last week. Now we're going to do medulla, but it's all one. He calls the Yogananda says the Kutashya Chaitanya center, the Ajna center, or Ajna chakra, at the point between the eyebrows, connected with the medullary center by polarity, is the center of will and concentration. So we know in Patanjali's 8 steps, the 7 or 8, it's 8 steps that he has, that the 7th one is this, or the 6th one is concentration. Concentration. And it's the center of concentration and will. And of Christ consciousness in the body. That's the activated consciousness that everything in this material creation and every atom is the bliss consciousness of spirit. Okay? And then Yogananda goes on to say, all of the above qualities and powers, and I just mentioned the 2 because we're just on 7 at the crown and 6, but we're adding this samadhi bliss as one of our 8 steps, right? But really 7-storied mansion, 7 chakras, the magnificent 7. All the above qualities and powers are acquired by the devotee whose deep meditation is attuned to the astral and causal centers of life and divine consciousness. These are astral powers and causal powers that we possess. All of these qualities and powers are acquired by the devotees whose deep meditation. That's why last week we heard that those cool and those warm sensations activate the power within your spine. Man, they activate it. And so does that the deep devotion that you practice with and the consistency that you practice the meditation, right? All of it. The revolving. This is why Love Force Revolution is so good. We have that force of love to help us revolve one revolution at a time around the spine, cool and warm sensations, right? That deep meditation, devotees' deep meditation is tuned to the astral and causal centers of life and divine consciousness. Oh, if only you knew the astonishing light that you are. In your lonely and darkest days, you would be astonished at how bright that light is. If you only knew. I only wish, they only wish, our soul, God, Spirit, Masters, Christ Himself, if you only knew, He's asking us this morning, that when you're lonely and in the darkness, that you are this astonishing light, that's the astral body of light and cosmic energy, the Om, which we're going to go to next, medulla. But it's also the power in this 6th chakra, the combo, medulla center, Christ center, is intuition. It's the intuition. We have a whole class or 2 on intuition, how to awaken that and evolve. This is what's coming in a summary wrap up of these yugas, okay? But first we got to get this paradise going. We have to know for certain so we can practice endlessly, putting our attention and our devotion, single-hearted devotion in these chakras, and not allowing a button to be pushed from the outer noise of our manas mind and what is the news so-called in the world today. There's only one good news, and that you are already it, one with the infinite spirit. Those higher powers are undeveloped in the material minded, constantly restless individual whose life force habitually streams outward through the senses into the physical world. However, as you have learned in the lessons on the SRF technique of energization and the other SRF techniques, the mind and life force can be consciously controlled and directed by the switch of will. We're just tuning in to God's will, from our little mini selfish, self-centered will. As we come up the spine to help awaken all the chakras, we now come up here to be totally in tune with divine will. May thy will be done, Lord. May thy will be done. The greater the will, the greater the flow of energy. And where the energy is, there is consciousness. So the higher the consciousness, it's because the greater the will is. And it's not your will anymore, it's God's will. Using the will to place the attention and prana in each of the centers. Oh, using your will to place the attention and prana in each of the centers awakens the dormant spiritual powers characteristic of that center. Wow. The attention and the prana. Remember, where you have the will, you have the energy. And where the energy goes, you have the consciousness. That's why we need God's will pouring in, God's grace pouring in, our willingness to accept our true destiny as awakening Christ and Buddhas on this planet, right? So we can direct them right into the center, the spiritual powers that are characteristic of each center. That's how we awaken ourselves. By Kriya Yoga meditation, you can understand through your own experience the mysteries of the cerebrospinal centers. See, that's why it was so perfect to find the teachings of the East, because they show you it's a science, the science of these mysteries. It's the science of the soul. It's the science of divine love. It's the science of emancipation. It's the science of truth. You can understand through your own experience the mysteries of the cerebrospinal centers. Through your own experience, my dears, no one else's. Through your own. Yogananda had a beautiful poem in Songs of the Soul. It was called One Friend. And it goes like this. Many clouds do race to hide thee, of friends and wealth and fame. And yet through mist of tears I see appear thy golden name. I might start a little lower, the second verse. Each time my father, mother, friend do loudly claim they did me tend, I wake from sleep, do sweetly hear, I'm just going to keep it there, that thou alone didst help me here, that you alone does help me here. Right? So many clouds do race to hide thee, Lord, of fame and wealth and friends. And yet through the mist of tears I see appear thy golden night. And each time my father, my mother, my friends do loudly claim that I'm helping you, I wake from sleep to sweetly hear that you alone helps me here. You alone. It's your experience. It's my experience, not anyone else's. Nor are we out trying to convince someone else's to get busy and find truth. No, we have enough on our plate, don't we? To motivate ourselves, to remind ourselves. So I thought that little, you have one friend, one divine friend that is helping you with all of it. And in many aspects, such beautiful qualities of that friend. You can call them your soul qualities. the peace, the compassion, the joy, the love, or you can see them as these avatars. That you can see them as Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, Master Yogananda, Babaji, Buddha, Muhammad. They're helping you out. One friend. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that we're going to look at this medulla now, do our cool and warm sensations, God ecstasy breath, and just feel this Niagara Falls. I had that song that said taking a light bath, and after you've taken your light bath, you need to follow it up. You need to follow it up. You need to follow it up and take a Shakti shower. And I know each of us see doctors. I know each of us are seeking healing. We all want to feel better, and on and on and on. But this chakra, this is where truth is. This is where there is perfect radiant health. This is where you are a fountain of cosmic energy pouring in through this medulla oblongata. This is one aspect of your medulla oblongata. So go to the soul doctor. You gotta schedule an appointment with him today, or her. In this case, the Holy Spirit is a her. Schedule an appointment and get into that Shakti shower and feel that every one of your 27,000 trillion cells is just drinking this cosmic energy pouring through, because you got the gatekeeper, Babaji, and that gate of cosmic energy pouring in. There's nothing to block it, like blind mind thoughts and ego thoughts. But we have to choose the right gatekeeper, right? And so take a Shakti shower of cosmic energy. And you've got to believe in the cosmic energy, that you are radiant health. You cannot be sick, as Sri Yukteswar said. Disbelieve in the reality of sickness, and an unrecognized visitor will flee. So how do you expect to have heavenly consciousness? How do you expect to have consciousness without fear and worries, if we don't have the realization that what I just said and what the masters are teaching us is true, that you cannot be sick ever? So you got to start with all the walls up, the suspicions and the doubts, right? The floodgates have that thing up that's preventing the floods from coming down your spine to fill you up with cosmic energy, right? In spite of all that, we got to sit there and against our worried minds, that we are really sick, so to speak, that we're really not in good shape, and the negative thoughts and the fears of death and all that, we've got to plummet that, dynamite that, with just the Kriya breaths, the cool and warm sensations while we're at the medulla, with the realization that you're getting younger by the breath, that you are getting healthier by the moment. No matter how much pain you're in, you've got to realize you're getting a straight hit from Om, from the cosmic energy, from what's already in your spine. You're getting it through your intuition now, not your thinking, rational, questioning mind, but through the direct intuition. All right? So let's just say that that's one benefit of this golden age living, that you go to a golden age doctor. Like, if you could go to a golden age doctor now, how would he take that approach that the primary care doctors are taking, right? And not to mention the diet that Americans have in our country, probably one of the worst in any country, right? So now you can have the best diet if the same way you get fed by this prana here, right? And you get fed by the light here, and you got to believe it. You've got to believe in the cosmic energy and the divine light that is the sixth chakra. This is endowed. This is your endowment right here, as a child of God, as a son and daughter of God. All right. So let's also think of it as perfect healing, radiant health. You have make this a cellular shower, 27,000 trillion cells all drinking like no doctor could give you. Remember, nobody out there. Father, each time my father, mother, friend do loudly claim they did me tend, I wake from sleep to sweetly hear that thou alone did help me here, that you alone help me here, O doctor of my soul, the one true physician, capital P. All right, so let's inhale the breath, everyone. Visualize the floodgates wide open at your medulla. Exhale the breath, and let's repeat that, please. Just feel the energy, feel the current, feel the Niagara Falls of energy just coursing now. Babaji opened up through his grace you to feel what you are truly made of. Your astral body is the cosmic energy and the cosmic light. Feel yourself, that astonishing light that we hardly even believe we have. And let's receive our first God ecstasy breath, a cool sensation. Pouring cosmic energy in through the medulla. Immerse in the light, and then E of the energy, cosmic energy, warm sensation. Another one, please. Fountain of youth. O eternal youth, the body and mind abide within me forever and forever. And the E of the cosmic energy. And one more, please, in your Shakti shower. Awakening will, concentration, and the E, and intuition that this is so. I am Om, I am Om, I am Om, I am Om, Om, I am Om. Keep feeling the energy, my dears. Om, I am Om. Omnipresent, I am Om. All blessed, I am Om. Om, come to me, oh, come to me. Fill my 27,000 trillion cells, oh Lord, with that cosmic energy. Om, come to me, oh, come to me. And I am Om, radiant health, and I am Om, radiant health, and I am Shakti, Shakti, cosmic energy, Shakti, Shakti, cosmic energy. I am Om, radiant health, and I am Om, radiant health, and I am Shakti, Shakti, cosmic energy, Shakti, Shakti, cosmic energy. I'm feeling so good, I am joy vibrations. I'm feeling so good, cause I am Om. I'm feeling so good, I am joy vibrations. I'm feeling so good, cause I am Om. Oh, oh, oh. Beautiful, everyone. This we need to do every single day, minimum twice a day, so that we can start dynamiting with our faith, full attention, and our heart of single hearted, single devotion, love to the one, our first love. These walls of doubts and suspicions and thinking something else is more important. All right. The next power that you possess as a child, as a Christ, and as a daughter and son of God is this we're going down to the cervical center, the fifth chakra, the power of calmness. I'm reading now from Yogananda's little brief summary of these endowed powers we possess in each chakra. It's the power of calmness, which is the principal factor for discriminative perception, and which also aids man's power of attention, So this is the intuitive imagination center, this fifth chakra. This principal factor for discriminative perception was aids us in our power of attention and and enables the ability to imagine and visualize until the object of visualization manifests. Intuitive imagination. This is Yudhishthira, the eldest Pandu brother. It's just now we get to look at the Pandu brothers because now we are using our astral powers, and yes, we have those causal powers that completely support, if not completely allow these astral powers to be filled with light and energy, right? And now these astral powers and energies are going to help us now come down into this physical form. This is the ether center. So it's not quite physical. It's a fine little line between this physical world and the inner worlds, the astral worlds, which keeps us from just diving right into the energy and the light. And it's kind of a barrier, but it doesn't get affected by storms and anything. It's just its own little barrier, right? And so it's peace, it's calm. Finally, there's some calm, but we're going to be going down into the lower center soon. And so we really need to have the masters here help us in their amazing calmness, right? This is where they help us with their blessings of peace and the blessings of desirelessness. This flatline the mind, right? Just flatline the mind, dive deep beneath the mind, and let the masters help you just calm down and sit in the green pastures with them, And that little song that sitting in the silence on the sunny banks of our minds, sitting in the silence with the masters by our side. When our thoughts have gone to rest, that's the time we feel them best. Oh, 'tis lovely sitting in the silence with the masters by our side. So it's just sitting still, be still, oh my soul, so I can know. And this is where we have a garden of peace. And I have a few quotes about that. A garden of peace. This is where we cultivate a garden of peace. And the masters, you have Babaji, you have Larry Mahasaya, you have Swami Shuteshwar and Yogananda helping you in this ether center to finally quiet down, to be still and just be like a quiet lake, no ruffles, like a storm can be in the eye of a hurricane, like just perfect calm in that inner. It's like riding waves. Sometimes you get in the tube and it's just perfectly quiet in that little thing. It's a short ride, that tube, because the wave then crashes on you or you pull out of the wave. But so we have to find that perfect eye of the calm of the storm within us, of the restlessness of our minds in this center. But sit with those masters here as you do your God ecstasy breath. And let's remember last week when I read you that the mansions of wisdom, we did that thing at the end. Oh, where is it? Oh yeah, it's right here. It's right here. And we planted, we had little blossoms growing. I'll read it right now because this is the perfect definition of what we're up to. This is Yogananda's Self-Realization Way of Life, lesson 18, of what we're up to in these chakras. Okay, the golden, the satya. No, girls, no. Oh, yeah, no. Talking about the peace center. Where we talked about the well, I'm going to read it to you, but the golden yuga consciousness in each of these spines is what we're up to. We have to get this up because we're going to enter a period in this Gita coming up where it says how Krishna talks about how to be released from the cycles. these recurring cycles. Well, this is the Patanjali's kind of version, and not our, and Yogananda's version, and teaching the science of yoga to all of us, right? We got a good start. And when we get really into it, how we get freed is coming up. So here's a little perfect summary of what we're up to in each one of these chakras. Let us live simply outside and be supremely happy within. Be unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds. Let us learn to build inner mansions of wisdom. Let us learn to storied mansions, 7-storied mountain. That was a famous book, 7 stories, the chakras, by Thomas Merton, I think. Let us build inner mansions of wisdom. And wasn't that the same wisdom that we heard is in the cerebrum, that wisdom bliss in the causal center? So this is bringing down causal wisdom straight from the source into our today's consciousness, to get us out from the suspicions and the doubts and the wandering restless mind, and finally give us an anchor point so that we can till a beautiful garden from these causal, unbelievable, truthful wisdom seeds. So we got to learn to live simply outside and be supremely happy within. Let us learn to build inner mansions of wisdom in the unfading garden of peace. Now you know where the unfading garden of peace is. Your cervical center, the peace center, the calmness center. Let us learn to build inner mansions of wisdom. And that's wisdom's coming from the higher chakras, right? Yeah. In the unfading garden of peace that blooms with the million-hued blossoms of beautiful soul qualities. Which blooms with the million-hued blossoms of beautiful soul qualities. So each little plot in our 7 mansions of wisdom are places where we can use our intuitive imagination to just feel what beautiful soul quality is blooming here. But in this 5th one, it's so important that we really plant those seeds, build a hedge of protection around those seeds, water those seeds with TLC, with more love than ever have, so we can grow these little beautiful flowers of peace in the garden of this 5th chakra. And I have a little quote from, of course, Jesus Calling. They have something in here for everything we could talk about in the Gita, and the Gita has everything that anything Christ could say is the same thing. This is what I call the Garden of Peace. This was a reading not long ago. This is Christ, Jesus, who said the kingdom of heaven is within you. I have promised to meet all your needs according to my glorious riches. Your deepest, most constant need is for my peace. Your deepest, most constant need is for my peace. I have planted peace in the garden of your heart. The heart, the cervical center, every chakra really is a garden of peace. Your heart, yeah, the garden of peace. I have planted peace in the garden of your heart. Well, I feel like that is definitely a garden place for peace too, right? It is. And the cervical center and all the chakras. I have planted peace in the garden of your heart where I live. We know that one beloved lives there. But there are weeds growing there too. Pride, worry, selfishness, unbelief. I am the gardener. Not you, my dear. God, Christ, the Christ in you, yes, is the garden. The gardener. And I am working to rid your heart of those weeds. I do my work in various ways. When you sit quietly with me, I shine the light of my presence directly into your heart. Directly. You sit with eyes looking into the eyes of Christ and know that from his heart, from his third eyes, just sending you so much peace into the garden, your beautiful garden. It may have been dark before you sat down. And now you get to just feel his light of presence being directed in the center of your heart. And this heavenly light, peace grows abundantly. in this heavenly light. Heaven is within us. You are nothing but heaven, through and through. Peace grows abundantly and weeds shrivel up. I also, though, send trials into your life when you trust me in the midst of trouble. Peace flourishes and weeds die away. So, this is that inner chamber of peace. This is your secret garden where nothing in this world can disturb you. When the trials come, you go into that secret garden. The secret is part of your garden where you are free from all the buttons that just been pushed and the old scenarios and your old story still raging around you, right? So that peace grows abundantly and weeds shrivel up. I also send trials into your life. When you trust me in the midst of trouble, peace flourishes. When you trust in the midst of troubles and trials, peace flourishes. Remember that. And weeds die away. Because the opposite usually happens. You lose all peace, right? And we cannot afford to lose our peace. Too expensive, very costly. Thank me for troublesome situations. The peace they produce far outweighs the trials you endure. Once again, I want to repeat Hafiz. I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your own being. So let's end today with a beautiful, maybe seeing Christ as light coming into your heart center here, even though we're going to be kind of fixing our attention at the cervical center and the Master's divine help, or sitting in the silence with them by a beautiful creek today. You know, we're all sitting in the silence on the sunny banks of our mind, sitting in the silence with the Masters by our side. When the thoughts have gone to rest, that's the time we feel the best. Oh, 'tis lovely, sitting in the silence. Receive a breath, everyone, and exhale out. Again, an inhale breath, just visualizing that peace in your heart and in the cervical center. And the exhale breath. And now let's do our ah and our E sounds, cool and warm sensations. Inhale. You're breathing in pure peace, soul peace. Feel the Master's presence. Feel the divine light. It's your spiritual eye. A beautiful E of peace. The E of peace. Again, feel them. Feel their guidance. Feel their help. Feel their peace. Pause. Beautiful E of the word peace. Warm, warm, going through your Sushumna spine. And one more cool current in the Sushumna spine. All the way up through medulla, through the brain, to your spiritual eye. Immersed in that divine light bath. And then the E, the word peace. Let's just feel a heavenly peace from our toes to our top of our head. Every cell is finally at a divine peace. So relax your toes, fingers, jaws, muscles, bones, and be carried away in this beautiful, uplifting truth of you, that soul peace permeating every cell of your body, and expanding out to the so-called world, which is just a dream manifestation of the source of this peace. And the world is at peace as you are at peace. in the temple of silence, in the temple of peace, in the temple of silence, in the temple of peace. I will meet thee, I will touch thee, I will love thee, and coax thee to my home of peace, and coax thee to my home of peace. In the temple of samadhi, in the temple of bliss, in the temple of samadhi, in the temple of bliss. I will meet thee, I will touch thee, I will love thee, and coax thee to my altar of peace, and coax thee to my altar of peace. Deep peace. Deep peace. Deep, deep, deep. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Shanti, 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 shanti. Rest for a moment. Relax deeper than before. Feel yourself, as peace itself. The blessings of each of the gurus coming to give you a diksha now, a blessing of peace. And that beautiful Christ sending you light into the garden of peace, the garden of your heart, garden of the cervical, the garden of all your chakras. Beautiful light, Christ, the light that you are. If only I could show you in your loneliness and your darkness the light, the astonishing light of your own being. They only want to show you in your loneliness and darkness the astonishing light of your own being. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. May the blessings be, everyone. I do believe, I strongly believe. In fact, I know we are on the right track to happiness. Jai peace, Jai Guru, Jai Mom, Jai Christ, Jai Spirit.